There it is.
We are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is Tina Brody, and I am joined here with my wonderful teammate, Katie Brill. I'm so excited. I can't wait until we get together in a couple more days. It's Monday. It's going to be Wednesday soon. We're on our way. Anyway, we're not going to keep you guys too long tonight. We just wanted to spend a little bit of time and talk about creating change in yourself. I hear so many people throughout my day talk about how they're sick and tired of this or they're sick and tired of that, or they talk about how they want change, but they're not actually taking any action for that change to happen. So I tell people all the time, talk is cheap, and unless you're taking action on it, nothing's going to happen. People come in and they complain. I mean, people that have been on a job for a lot of years, oh, I can't take this anymore, but you're doing nothing about its change. So in order for anything in your life to change, you first have to change. I am doing. Uh-oh, we got a little echo here. Okay, here we go. That's gone. Anyway, so you have to start with yourself. Okay, your success starts with you, and unless you change, nothing else is going to change. Now, there are lots of different ways that you can. It all is personal development. So there are different ways to work on your personal development, be it listening to audio like the great call that we just got off of our Monday night power hour with Aaron Rashkin, which was fabulous, and I can't wait to listen to the replay. And also reading, reading uplifting, inspiring things that are going to motivate you. You want motivation. So if you find yourself around people who aren't motivating you, ask yourself, like Aaron was saying tonight, ask yourself if the people that you're listening to are making you broke or are they making you rich. So basically ask yourself, are they beneficial to you, the things that they are saying, because people tend to listen to the people that you're surrounded with. They do rub off on you, and you have to question, is this beneficial to me or is it not? Are these people have the same goals that I have or do they not? It's all a matter of yourself. Everything starts with you. Your success depends on you, not your sponsor or anyone else who's in the business with you. It all depends on you. So if you're not taking action, making moves like you need to make, nothing is ever going to change. Me personally, my first goal is to be able to quit my job. So I made a decision that I was going to do whatever I have to do in order to reach that goal. And then I start taking action on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have my own home business. I wouldn't be able to ignore the negativity that I'm surrounded by, because you're always going to be surrounded by haters. You're always going to have somebody who is going to tell you, why are you doing that? Why are you wasting your time? So I make it a daily ritual, which is part of the core commitments with our company. I listen to our Inner Circle audio on a daily basis, like the call that I just listened to. That will be part of the Inner Circle. I think we lost Katie here. Give me 1 second. Let me just see if I can get her back. Let's see. She's been having problems with her computer, and hopefully I will be able to get her back here. But in the meantime, I'll continue and I'll keep going. So until she is able to get back on, hopefully she'll get back on. And I make it a daily ritual where I listen to uplifting audio. I read on a daily basis. So being that I live in New York City and my commute is about an hour 15 minutes each way, I spend the morning listening to audio, and then in the evening coming home, I read. So like for instance, right now, I'm in the process of reading, oh, I almost dropped the book, I just want to show it to you. Can you see that? Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. Now, this actually was a book that was recommended by Aaron Rashkin, who hosted the Power Hour call tonight. And this book is great. It reminds me a lot of Psycho-Cybernetics, which I also read. It talked a lot about the negative self-talk that you experience. Hey, Katie, you're back.
I had two screens going at once. Don't ask me how that happened. I just shut it down and come back and log on. Sorry.
Okay, not a problem. I
There.
was just sharing. I was just sharing that I'm currently reading "Way the Peaceful Warrior" by Dan Millman, and the similarities that it had to me, anyway, with psycho-cybernetics, which talked a lot about the negative self-talk that we all experience. You know, I actually didn't realize that I was experiencing that, and I had so much negative self-talk until I read the book, and it started standing out to me. So in this particular book, it actually is it goes through different stages of the author's life and the things that he encounters and all of the, you know, how he reacts so instantly in a negative way instead of just, you know, let it go. You know, and it's a lot of wasted energy when you're constantly thinking about something negative that happened, or you're always just concentrating on that, where, you know, it happened, you can't change it, let it go, move on. You know, and I mean, this is a great book. I'm almost done with it, and it has really been a fabulous read. I'm so glad that Aaron recommended this book. But now that you're back, I am going to turn it over to you for a little while and let you introduce yourself to everyone, say hello, and then we'll pick it back up. I will just mute myself out and give you the mic. So take it over, Katie. It's all yours.
Oh, hi, Katie Brill. And I like being partners with Tina. She's a good egg. And I'm glad to be here tonight talking about creating change in our lives. I think the biggest thing for me is being able to set a goal and focus on it. That's the little changes. It doesn't have to be a gigantic goal to go after. I may be wanting to deal with something, you know, as minor as tardiness, which can create a big change. And I like what you said about the negative self-talk, because that is, you know, what we tell ourselves, we become. The people we hang around, we become. There's truth in birds of a feather flock together. And when I hang around people who are where I want to be, then I am able to focus on that and learn from them. If I do not have little goals to get me someplace, and I don't have people surrounding me who are where I want to be, then I'm not going to end up going in the right direction. I don't have the support that I need from people around me.
Exactly. And so many people, you know, another thing that I heard recently, and it really stuck with me, and you probably heard the same thing too, but, you know, people, you know, if you ask yourself when it comes to events, like the event that we're about to attend in Charlotte, North Carolina, you know, and people say that, you know, well, it's all filled with leaders. Why, you know, the leaders. But there are so many other people who aren't leaders that are there as well. And the reason why, you know, if you look at it as a situation and you ask yourself the question, well, who do you think needs a tutor? Which basically is, you know, what these people are. Our leaders are tutors, because they're teaching us the things that they know based on their own experiences. You know, and does a person who is already succeeding need a tutor, or does the person who is not succeeding and not moving forward need a tutor? And that's the purpose why people need to get to events, especially when you're new. You need to surround yourself with people who are successful in the company that you're looking at, you know, not somebody who is on the outside. I mean, you know, you wouldn't go ask a policeman, you know, how do I fix this pipe over here, which you need a plumber for that. You know what I mean? So you surround yourself with the people who are successful in the company already. And then, and you know, like I know our leaders, everyone in the company, not even just the leaders, you know, everyone is so willing to share their knowledge with anyone who's willing to learn and listen. But you have to be the one to make the decision if you really want it and do whatever it takes to get there. You know, I mean, people are sacrificing all kinds of things. People are selling things out of their homes to raise up the money. Do whatever you need to do to get there, because events are key. Events are key. And our events are in no way like the typical MLM events that you attend where you're in the suit and a tie and they're constantly trying to sell you something. No. Listen, I just finished putting my stuff together. I told you earlier when we spoke, I'm getting my bag together, figuring out, because I like to lay everything out before I pack it up, because this way I make sure I don't forget anything. And I don't have any dress clothes in my bag whatsoever. I got shorts, I got jeans, I got my flip-flops, because you come as you are. Be who you are. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, we've seen Wood walk around the stage barefoot. You know, I mean, he lives in Costa Rica, so he's accustomed to the Bermuda shorts and tank tops. That's how he dresses. But that's fine, because that's who he is. But regardless of how he's dressed and what he looks like, he's where I want to be, and he can teach me. So I need to get around him and learn from him, Tracy Walker, Aaron Rashkin, Tony Rush, everybody. And even people, you know, I mean, I found, even when we were in D.C., you know, I met so many people just based on where I was sitting. You know, I mean, you sit next to somebody and you start having a conversation with people. You just never know. You know, I mean, and these are people that will be, I know I've already sent out a couple of messages asking them, are you going to be in Charlotte? Are you going to be in Charlotte? You know, because it becomes a habit. Like, these people are family. You know what I mean? You get accustomed to seeing them every 90 days, and it's like a family reunion, you know, especially the type of atmosphere that it is. So to me, getting to events is part of you reaching your success, because you need to surround yourself, like you said, birds of a feather flock together. So if you flocking with birds that are just, excuse my language, constantly shitting on other people, you need to find a new set of birds to flock with, because as the saying goes, you help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want. Agreed?
I agree, and I'd like to say I don't know about the shitting thing, but I do know that I'm not going to be a crow. I'm going to be an eagle.
That's right.
I'm going to flock with the Eagles, baby. Not the Philadelphia Eagles either. You know where I'm from. Anyway, there was something that was said on tonight's call earlier that really struck me. There were actually a bunch of things, but one of the things that Aaron Rashkin shared tonight was that your product is not your product. That your product is people. You know, it's me. You know, I am the product. Do you want to work with me? And the product is the people that you're selling to. You know, you need to take the time to get to know your product, which is your people. And if I am not hanging out with the people who I want to be like, then yeah. And when I first went to D.C., where we met, that was a real eye-opener for me. I'd never attended anything like that. And just the down-to-earth experience. And like, this event's has a little bit of a different flavor to it. This event is more like, I mean, there's going to be more seminars and things like that, smaller, the learning things, rather than speaking engagements. And in D.C., it was neat to hear the stories of the people who did come. And one of the things become a part of Empower Network. I got a really good brief history tonight on what was going on. And to hear them share about the vision. You know, it's not that this is a come and go. They've overcome so many obstacles in the 2.5 years they've been in business. It's pathetic. And everybody thought that they would be on the down and out. And here they are, still plugging away and growing like the Dickens. And to look at the basis of where we come and the humble foundation of two homeless people who created what, you know, an organization, but it's not an organization, it's a community. I really feel a family atmosphere when I'm at an event, because I can talk to people from all over the world, and regardless of what you're there for, whether you're an Empower affiliate, whether you're there to learn for your own business, because people buy the product for all kinds of reasons. And you get into an event and you get to exchange ideas with all of those people and learn so much about how they're implementing what they're learning. It gives me a way to grow and learn and think and apply it to my business when I come out of it so that I'm continuing to change and grow.
Of course it does. Of course it does. And the event actually is going to be a combination of the speaking. So you'll always have a chance to hear the stories, and then the workshops are, I think that is on Saturday mostly, all the workshops, but on Thursday and Friday it's going to be different people. We're going to see some of the new people that are successful. You know, one of my favorite parts of the events is the first night where the commission countdown is done, because it's so often, I mean, I've been to other company events before I got involved with Empower, and you know, when it comes down to the people with the big checks and the people that are actually making money, is a very small percentage of the audience. I mean, I was at an event in the Miami Heat Arena, 19,000 people, okay, and out of those 19,000, you know, there was a very small percentage of those that were on stage, you know, whereas at our events, you have 97% of the audience is making money, you know, because it doesn't matter if it's their first $25 sale, which is actually the most important people, because, you know, that's the base, and that's what's going to keep growing and growing and growing. Or it's somebody who, like the members of our Millionaires Club, that have made $1, $2, $3 million. But it is a majority of the people there that have already made money, and you don't see that anywhere. You just don't see that anywhere. At least I haven't experienced it where that amount of people in the audience. I mean, we there's never even enough space on stage to fill everybody when the commission countdown is done, because the whole audience practically is on the stage, and the people who aren't on stage typically are people who just got started. You know what I mean? But that is one of my favorite parts of it, and I'm looking forward to the workshops, because that'll be individual, that'll be more hands-on training, I think, from the leaders, and it'll be on different topics, whether it be the marketing, you know, it's all about creating leads, you know, capturing and converting. So I'm pretty sure all of that's going to be included in there. And like you said, it doesn't matter if, you know, you're there as an Empower affiliate or you're just there as a customer, because there are lots of people who just use the products to build their own business, whether it be a weight loss and nutrition, whether it be they're a personal trainer, you know, they could be into green energy, you know, it doesn't matter. The tools that are in the products teach you and show you ways to build any business. So you could be a real estate agent, you know, and you can go out, look at a new house that's out there that you want to have open house for, snap a couple of pictures, throw it on your blog, and send it right out to people. It doesn't really matter, you know, whether you're a mom and pop shop or you're online. You don't even have to be online anymore with the new structure that they just put into place. You know, I mean, I did the home party thing. It's not for me. You know, my thing is, you know, for me to work from home, that means work from home. That doesn't mean bringing strangers into my home, you know, because I want to have this meeting and show this DVD. It doesn't mean me traveling across the boroughs to go to someone else's house because they said they got 10 people there, and then you show up and there's one person there. You know, it's just that's just not for me. It's just not for me. And, you know, I went through make a list, call your family and friends. You know, I went through all of that. I went through all of it, and I've never, ever encountered anything like Empower Network. You know, not only is it a family atmosphere community, like you said, but it's like nothing that I've ever come across before. I mean, I don't know if this is also your first time encountering something, but I know I'm glad that my first encounter with online internet marketing is Empower. Mm-hmm. Because I know there's so many other things out there. And listen, I still get, you know, once you start getting the exposure, your name gets out there, people start seeing your picture a lot. You make connections on the different social medias. I told you, I think I'm on pretty much all the social medias. I mean, and I have people coming at me, saying, oh, check this out, check that out. I call those we like to call those the shiny balls. They're coming at you from all directions. Oh, check this out. Oh, check this out. This is better. This is better. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You could be doing all of that, but if you're not marketing it correctly and you're not working on yourself, building your own personal development, because it all starts with you. It all starts with you, So, and unless you're doing what you need to do, and you got to be consistent, doing it every day. But even more importantly, you got to be persistent, meaning you're going to do it every day, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference. It doesn't matter, you're sick, flu, on the train, on the plane, well, maybe not on the plane, because they lock everything down. But you know what I mean. I mean, if it doesn't matter, like we discussed, all the way down, because we're going to drive down, and we're going to listen to Inner Circle Audio all the way, because we can do that. It's mobile, so we don't have to have a CD. You know what I mean? Plug the phone in, and it's going to travel right along with us. And then once we get there, it'll be even better to be surrounded by our family. Family isn't always blood. Family's not always blood.
This is true. Immerse yourself. It's like jumping in the pool, baby. Well, I like what you said about the home, quote unquote, party industry, because I did Pampered Chef. I'll just say it. And I love their products. They're a top company. But when 9/11 happened, the first 9/11 in New York City, not the one in Benghazi. When 9/11 happened, I had a kitchen show scheduled for that night. Wow. And I called that lady on the phone, and I'm like, I really think we need to reschedule. Oh, no, people will be coming, blah, blah, blah. Nobody came. I was there. I was all set up, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I should have canceled it and said, forget it, I'm not coming. That's like having a kitchen show the day they bombed Pearl Harbor, pretty much. It's an equal comparison. And I don't have to do that anymore. That is one thing. Not only the product, I like that I can take my cell phone to the gym, plug my headphones into it, and listen to training while I'm working out in my little pockets of time, that I have in my day. And the other thing about what I found really striking is that, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for where I end up. I am wholly responsible. Am I going to look in the mirror and think that, it's somebody else's fault, it's the product I'm selling, it's the person who brought me on, or it's somebody else's fault? I am responsible for my own success. It's me. When I look in that mirror, it's me looking back at me. So if there's a problem, I'm the solution. Something has to change in how I'm doing things in order to make the solution work and in order to change the situation. I can sit and think about change all I want, but if I don't take action on it, nothing's going to happen. If I don't look at where I'm going, nothing's going to happen. If I can see something's not working and I do it again, what makes me think it's going to work the second time? Nothing. And, it's a choice. It's a choice to change. It's a choice to examine yourself. It's a choice to get to the next level. Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? And I don't know what that is for some people. there's lots of people with lots of experience who will probably, advance really fast, and others who come in knowing a little bit and grow really quick and learn a lot. But what you're applying it to, if you're not going to apply it and learn and grow and evaluate to change to make it effective, then it's like throwing money down the drain. You're paying good money for an education here, a lot less than you would pay for a 4-year marketing school.
Definitely, definitely. And like you said, it's all about what you are willing to do. So many people will get involved in a business and then say, oh, well, my sponsor is not this, or this one isn't helping me, or no one's calling me. Or listen, personally, I don't even know where my sponsor is that got me started in this company is at this moment. As far as the business is concerned, I speak to him here and there, but it's my decision, it's my choice. So I didn't sit back and wait for him to say, oh, well, Tina, you should do this, or Tina, maybe you should do that. No, I went out and I learned whatever I needed to learn to move myself to the next level, and it's all about creating a change in you. It's funny because Lisa Scott, which you met, I think you met her in DC too. She's a personal life coach, and I remember listening to one of her podcasts one time, and it was basically about breaking down the word responsibility. And when you break that into 2 words instead of 1, you get response-ability. So it's on you how your ability to respond to whatever situation is around you, whatever trials and tribulations you may be having at the moment. It's how you respond, and you have the ability to respond positively, and you have the ability to respond negatively. Which path you choose is totally up to you, but you
back to the
can't.
thinking again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was one that was so, I mean, I can't even describe. I listened to that podcast over and over and over because it's just, no one thinks about responsibility that way. I mean, yeah, we all have responsibilities, without a doubt. Everybody has responsibilities. But how are you responding? You know what I mean? You have the ability, like I said, to respond either way. And the same thing is true for how you respond to wanting to reach your goals, whether it be, you want to quit your job, or you want to travel outside the country, or, you want to stay home with your kids. Whatever the case is, you can't say, okay, well, this is what I want to do, but then just sit back and wait for somebody to come knock on your door and say, okay, here's your chance. You got to answer. You got to answer, because like this is an opportunity that so many people bypass. I mean, we even have people in the community that actually left the company when they were having the issues, which, listen, every new startup company goes through something, and people left Empower and they came back, okay? And a couple of those people are $1 million earners now. They are $1 million earners now because once they saw the vision and they really got a hold of it to see, okay, this is going someplace. And that's just the beginning. I mean, we're still a baby. We just now starting to toddle and pitter-patter around a little bit, but once what's revealed in Charlotte is released, it's just going to blow it even further, to the next level and beyond. But, it all, your success depends on you. So how much you work to change and create something different in yourself, it all depends on you, and that's why we always have, and when anybody's talking about the amount of money that people make, there's always an income display, because results are not typical. I don't consider myself average. I don't consider you average. If we were average, we probably wouldn't be here right now. People who are watching wouldn't be here right now because they're not average. A lot of people were looking at the time saying, oh, it's late, I can't get on there, I got this to do, I got that to do. And for some people, okay, fine. But again, if you even looked at whether it be the email or, whatever post, whichever one of us sent out, there's a reason that you looked at that, because you have something that you want to reach. You have a goal that you want to attain. So now the process begins where you start creating the change in yourself, because it all comes from within. And that's one of the things that I love about the Way of the Peaceful Warrior too, because the things that he goes through in that book, I mean, you have to actually go through it, live it, and experience it before you actually realize that it's all within you, and you have to change. You know, you have to change instead of, you know, ranting and raving like a lunatic because it's raining on your picnic. Hell, roll around in the grass and play in the rain, in the leaves instead. You know what I mean? Just it's all about how you're reacting. You know, your ability to respond and how you handle it. How you handle it, but it all begins with you. You have to create the change that you want to see. You have to be the one. No one else can do that for you. No one else can do that for you, you know, and it starts with, like I said, whether it be listening to audio, reading books, you know, especially getting to events, because the more you surround yourself with the right type of people, the more it gets instilled in you, the more motivated you get. You know, I mean, I remember my first event was Denver. And, you know, I don't know, I might have told you, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be saying this live, but the seat that I was assigned had me, I mean, I was like all the way on the side of the stage, like near the staircase, you know, and my roommate that I had while at that event, you know, I sat there for the first night, because the first night is usually the shortest night, you know, we're in for like 3-4 hours. But I said to her when we got back to the room, I was like, you know, do you have any empty seats next to you? Because I had empty seats next to me. So I said, well, maybe she has some too. So I had no idea where she was sitting. But I said, well, hell, at least I wouldn't be sitting by myself, because that night there was like no one around me. You know, I was like literally alone. Well, she had, you know, she got there the day before me. So she got registered a little earlier. And she had center stage tickets about, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 rows, not even, well, from the stage, it was about 10 to 12 rows, which is like prime seating. So by the time I left that event, it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was so mad because I ended up, the way that the flights were working for me, Midwest, I ended up having to leave the event before it was over in order to make it to the airport to get my flight. Then I got to the airport and my damn flight was delayed for 3 hours. I was like, you know what? You know, but the good thing at the same time was I wasn't the only one who had that issue. So I actually got to meet a lot of our community right there at the airport at the same gate. You know, because even like the flight that was supposed to go out before mine, that one was delayed. You know, so everybody was delayed. So, I mean, we had some of everybody there. And we had such a good time sitting right in the airport, everyone recapping, you know, their experiences that they got from the event. Some people, it was their first event. Others, it was, you know, their 4th or 5th event, whatever it was. But it was, I mean, it was just a really great experience. And, you know, if I hadn't made the decision to start changing myself, I would never be there. You know, to have that experience with those people, I would have never met you and some, you know, all the other great people that we've made contacts with. Mm-hmm. You know, so the events are very important. And, you know, sometimes people have to actually get into the environment before they really, really begin to see their vision. You know, they may have a little small peek of it, but when you get around so many people that are seeing in the same direction that you are, you can't help but be more motivated.
Yeah, it's kind of like standing on the beach and you're in a summer crowd on a crowded beach and everybody's going their own way. That's life. But when you get inside of an event, we're all looking at the same horizon in the same direction. There's a lot of power in that. And I think that, I mean, we sit here and we talk about vision a lot because we understand what that vision is. And I don't think a lot of other people understand the vision of the company, because Dave Wood has a really specific vision for Empower Network. And without that vision, we wouldn't have the community that we have. We wouldn't have motivated people like we have. And so to clarify that, I mean, he has a vision of creating 100 new millionaires every year. Income disclaimer, of course. No one's guaranteeing that you're going to be a millionaire. No one's guaranteeing that you're going to make even anything. because we can't guarantee how hard you work or how you work. But that's his vision for the company and to help people. I mean, for him to be sitting where he's at, having once been a homeless man living in a van, and now having the potential and the wherewithal to be able to help as many people as he's helping to achieve the same thing, or to have the opportunity to achieve the same thing, because there are no guarantees. And everyone in leadership carries that same vision, whether it's like you said, for just I want to be able to make an income enough to be able to stay home with my kids. I don't want to have to drop them at daycare. My son has a new niece, and her dad just took off, and the baby's a week old, just took off a second week because he can't stand to go to work and leave her at home. Like, well, that's going to be a problem. When you have a newborn, I mean, there's nothing you want more than to be able to stay with them.
That's right.
And not that that's everybody's motivation. I mean, my motivation is to do missions work. That's my vision. And the fact that the company is big enough for everyone to kind of have one vision, but their own individual vision that they design for their own life, their own purpose. And when you get in to an event like we're going to, I am just so psyched because, if I was in leadership, I would not be able to contain myself. They already know what's happening. And I sit here on the edge of my seat like, what are they going to say? What is going on here? Because we don't know. They do, and they're just like, you got to get there. You're really going to like it. So, I had my tickets way before that happened, but I lost my train of thought. Imagine that.
It's okay. Listen, birds of a feather, right? That's something that Dave Wood does on a regular. You know what I mean? Like, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I'll get back to it. And the thoughts just keep going, and they keep going and keep going. So listen, it's okay.
Well,
that's because
hearing the stories of each person and how they developed, worked toward, and then attained. I mean, it's not, they're not giving you garbage. They're giving you exactly what they did. There's a little clip on one of the internet picture quote sites, and it says, there's 2 things you need to know about success. This is a paraphrase, folks. Number 1, never tell anyone all of your secrets. And there is no number 2. But that is not how we operate. You know that? And I think that's what makes this difference.
Oh, yeah.
In Empower, that there is no closed off. Everybody is more than willing to share what has worked for them in order for them to get to where they are. I might not be able to use it all, but I can sure use the bits and pieces that are applicable to me.
Of course. And that's what it's about, whether it be on a call or, whatever, it's everybody, the golden nuggets are different for everybody. What may be a nugget for me may not be a nugget for you, and vice versa. But that's the whole point, when you surround yourself with so many people that are thinking the way you're thinking, and people that have a vision, no matter what that vision is, everyone is here for a reason, okay? Everyone is here because they want to succeed, so what better people to learn from than the ones who are already successful and where you want to be? I don't want to learn from somebody who, my perfect example, okay, my daughter had surgery last year, okay, she had hip surgery. Now, that is really serious. So I'm not going to take her to, the person who just came out of medical school. No, the person who handled her surgery teaches the surgery that he did on her. Okay, I'm looking for the experts. I don't want somebody who doesn't have the experience, especially in a situation where somebody's going under the knife. I mean, hell, there's no room for an oops when you're on the operating table. So you don't go and flock around to people that are, okay, well, he just came out of school, he's been practicing on these cadavers for 5 weeks. No, I'm going over here with the person who's been teaching those people how to practice on those cadavers. You know what I mean? You get around the experts, and like you said, the community is so different from the typical, things that are out there, which discourages people because, people aren't willing to share. People just aren't willing to share their knowledge, and that's so wrong because, the more you help other people, the better and the more you're going to grow. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and I've experienced that too. And when I went to that same event, I mean, I was the only one out of, our group, so to speak, there from New York. The majority of them were from, I think they're all in Atlanta or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it was almost as if like I didn't exist. You know what I mean? Because they all knew each other. They all hosted their events and everything, their individual stuff together. So, if this one wanted help from the leader, okay, they called her, she went to them. But now they're in Atlanta, and here I am, I'm up all the way East Coast up in New York City, but I make the decision and the choice to go to this event, be there, surrounded by all of these. I mean, it was 19,000 people there. I mean, I love basketball, so I know the size of the arena, but it was, I never, they said they were going to fill it, but I didn't believe it, to be honest with you. I didn't believe it until I saw it. But it was like, I mean, in our group, it wasn't that many people. It was, I don't know, I want to say maybe 30, 40 people, but I was like, the outsider from New York City, no one, even when the group got together and, the leader was talking and he was saying, okay, everybody tell where they're from. I had to say New York 4 times before I was acknowledged. I didn't leave with a good feeling from that. It wasn't the family, come here, let me help you. What do you need that I have now? And this is my home. I'm not going anywhere. And once, with the tools that and the education, because like you said, it really is education, and people will pay $100,000 to get education from a college that really isn't going to teach them how to survive and how to not be a part of that 40-40-40 plan, because it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for years, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse. I actually saw, it was so funny. I saw on in the elevator in the building where I work, they have this Captivate TV, so there's constantly different things flashing on the screen. And I read this thing today that said there's this company, I forgot the name of the company, but they're actually paying people $25,000 to leave their jobs because these people are so unhappy that they're willing to pay them to leave. And that, I said, well, I did a double take. I said, wait, did I read that right? Like, you're paying people to leave the job because they're so unhappy. And if you're that unhappy and it's showing like that, where your employer is willing to pay you to leave, it's definitely time for a change. It is definitely time for a change. Definitely time for a change. I mean, come on, you're being paid to leave.
I remember. I'm sorry. I'm going back to the Brady Bunch. I'm dating myself now.
Oh, wait, you dating me too here.
But they had that episode where Peter's voice was changing, and they were going into the recording studio.
I remember that.
For the first Brady Bunch album, and the song that they came up was, when it's time to change, you've got to rearrange who you are and what you're gonna do. Da 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 da. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I
it's so true though.
About it, you gotta change. It's not the core who you are. It's the little intricacies of what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean.
Talking English.
Yes, you're talking English, and to break it down a little better, baby steps. You got to take baby steps, because you can't expect to, start something today. And, it's different for people that have been in the industry for a long time, because they have more experience.
Yeah.
But when you're new and you're just coming in, which is why we always tell people, there's an income disclaimer. Feel free to check out the disclosure, because, it will show you everything you need to know, which is also something that companies don't do. That's also unique.
Check out that income disclosure at www.empowernetwork.com/income.
That's right.
Listening. That's where it's at.
And it's updated on a daily basis.
Daily or weekly?
No, daily. It's
daily. Oh, okay.
Daily. So there's no questions. There's no questions. But the question that you have to ask is to yourself. How bad do you want it? And how hard are you willing to work to get it? You can't start today and say, okay, well, he said I'm going to be rich in 90 days, and it's not happening, or you come in and you say, okay, I got the blogging product, and, I paid my $25. How come a week later, where's my $1,000? Well, it's not that simple. Well, it's not that simple.
Are you looking at what's inside that product that you purchased so you can learn how to do it?
Well, that's all about.
I do this and it happens. There's other work, other training, learning how to drive traffic, to capture leads, and to make sales. It's a 3-step process. And if you don't understand that process, you can blog all you want. If you're not doing it right, not following the techniques that are taught inside, and it's not like I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
Another thing that I like about this is that when I first started, I couldn't get all the products, nor if I'd had them, I mean, I would have been like, oh, what do I do first? But to be able to go in and go through a product and learn what's in there, be able to access something like Inner Circle, which is updated all the time with new recordings. That's the mobile one I listen to in the gym. But there's new information, there's new videos, new training inside all the time. It's cutting edge. It's on the top of the market. So what you're learning isn't outdated by somebody who's been in the industry for 20 years and still doing and teaching what they taught 10 years ago. Because our guys are in the trenches with us. They're all affiliates earning incomes.
Definitely. And that's also something that's different, because how many company owners are actually out there doing what they're telling you to do? I don't know of any. They all talk about, but like I said, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. It's action that makes a difference. And unless you're taking action, you're never going to succeed. Now, and part of, and I know for me personally, because listen, like you, I wasn't able to buy all of the products at one time. But from the time that I first encountered anything about Empower Network, it was actually on a Hangout, similar to this, and I guess because I had already started the process from within of creating a change,
right,
it just resonated with me, and from day one, I got to do whatever it takes to get the rest of that education, because I need to learn it all. And I need to go step by step by step. So I had to work my way there too. Not everyone can go right in and get all in at one time, and that's fine. You work your way from one product to the next, but the thing is that you have the vision, you stay consistent, and you stay persistent, and you will get there. You will definitely get there, because each product is something different for you. And then on top of that, 100% commissions. Come on. It's really a no-brainer.
I think one of the misunderstandings about that is that it's not just 100%. it's 100% the whole way down the line.
Yes.
It's 100% down the horizontal line for anybody you yourself bring in, and it's 100% down the line also.
Yes.
With the way it's set up, that gets complicated, but it's not.
Well, I mean, basically with the new structure, you now earn in depth, basically is what that means. You now earn in depth, and that's fine, but regardless of whether it's straight across or it's 7 levels down, it's still 100% commission. And whether you decide, you have to make the choice to say, how bad do I want this, and how fast do I want it, how successful do I really want to be, because then you decide where you're going to position yourself. Do you want to position yourself at the $25 level where you're not getting the personal development, you're not getting the SEO training, you're not getting the free and paid marketing strategies that are out there? Or do you want to get yourself all in where you have all of that, as well as the master's course where you have leaders? I mean, the master's course is one of the first places that I encountered Dagan Smith after hearing his name time and time again. But he's in the master's course. And it was like, I mean, I had already been kind of like stalking him, trying to find him. But after I saw, the master's course that he, because he did the storytelling portion. And it was just like, wow, okay, I really got to find this guy. I really got to find this guy, because it's just, like I said, different people resonate with you in different ways. So you never know, when you get to these events, which person telling the struggles that they've been through will relate to your own struggles that you're going through. I mean, and listen, there are truly no excuses, okay? We got David Gadici, who is deaf. Okay, he's making money in his business. Okay, Oli is blind. Okay, he has, I don't remember if you saw him in DC. The first time I saw him was in Denver. He was in Denver, and he actually lives in DC. So that event was, because they asked him how far did he travel, and he said, "Oh, I came down the block." But because he lives in DC. But my first encounter with him was in Denver. Across the country. So this man is blind. He's succeeding. I mean, come on. There's really no excuses. And when people try to tell me, oh, I don't have the money to get started, really? You're going to tell me you're not worth $25? Because you just got to get started. That's all it takes to get started. So, as much as you complain about you're tired of this or you're tired of that, you're really not changing to get yourself out of that situation. And you have to step outside of the comfort zone. I definitely can testify to that, because otherwise I wouldn't be on this hangout with you right here, right now. Okay, but you keep hearing. There's a reason you keep hearing people say the same things to you over and over and over, because these are the things that they did that helped them succeed. They're sharing that with you. Now, whether you make the decision to change and do what you're being told is totally up to you. So I stepped out of comfort zone, started doing videos. And that's why it's easier for me now to get on and do a hangout like this now. Because otherwise, I would never. I mean, okay, so I'm not technically standing in front of an audience. But how many people are on the internet?
Oh, don't even go there.
Okay, so this is much more than a 19,000 person arena. Okay, I mean, we right now are spread across the entire internet. Okay, and yes, okay, I'm more comfortable now because I started doing the videos. And when I look at the first video that I did and I compare it to the last video that I did, there's no doubt you see change. But it's baby steps, and the more you do it and the more consistent you stay, the easier it gets. But the main thing is you have to start. You have to start somewhere. Everybody starts at the beginning. So what may be uncomfortable for you now, down the line, once you start doing it, you'll find that it's actually not so bad. And then it makes it easier for you to help other people step outside of their comfort zones. It's the classic signs of being a true leader. You know what I mean? Because you can't lead. You got to lead yourself first. You have to lead yourself first, and that all starts with, you got to create the change in yourself. So, what are you willing to do? How much is it worth to you and your family that you do whatever you need to do? You know, how much is it worth? And granted, like I said, I didn't have the money to go all in at once, you know, but, you know, I figured out a way. I figured out a way. When I had to get, you know, a loan from my 401k to pay college tuition, I got a little extra for myself so I could get the next product. You know, whatever it is, you do whatever you need to do to get yourself there. Because if you truly, truly have a vision that you want to reach, you'll do whatever it takes to get yourself there, without a doubt.
Aaron said something interesting tonight too that I wrote. I actually wrote it. Well, I took notes, but he said, change the way you look at. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes, I love that.
I think I'm gonna like put that above, you know, like my bed so I can see it every night before I go into bed, or on my front door, whatever. So whenever I go in and out.
But you know what? And that's not a bad idea, because you know, when you put those little things in front of you like that and you're constantly seeing them, that's all part of creating change in yourself too. Because if you constantly, I mean, you wake up and that's the first thing you see, you know, it's going to stay with you.
And when you get into that routine, and that I think is probably the most important thing, and it's what the 8 core steps are about getting into that routine of doing, you know, working on yourself and focusing on that change, what you want to change to get to that point where you're achieving your vision and getting your success. To be consistent with that. I mean, it's not gonna. If I can say I wanna quit smoking. I really do want to quit smoking, but I don't want to quit bad enough when I go into the store and buy a pack of cigarettes.
That's right.
Do I really want to quit smoking?
That's right.
I do. Folks, I really want to quit smoking, but
you listen, we'll both get there. We'll both get there. We'll both get there. Yeah, we'll both get there, you know, but listen, I always tell people too, change is good. You know, I had a coworker say to me today, you know, because I like to be different. I don't like to look the same all the time, this, that, and the other. So around about 1:30, 2 o'clock, I walked past one of my coworkers and she's like, Tina, I just noticed you got another hairstyle again. And I said, yes, honey, change is good. You know, I mean, you might prefer to look the same every day. And, you know, I mean, the Groundhog Day is enough for me. I don't want to look the same every day, too. You know, I mean, and then like right now, it being summertime, you know, I love this season. So, you know, people are like, oh, wow, okay, you're really coming out. I'm like, well, it's not that I'm coming out. It's just that, you know, I love this season. You know, I hate the winter when I've got on coats and boots and, you know, layers of clothes. But, you know, when the sun comes up, the clothes come off. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, change. You got to change. You got to change. And if you're not changing, then you're not growing. If you're not changing, you're not growing, you know. And another great thing that I heard tonight, and I've heard many other times before, you know, your best thinking has gotten you to where you are today. And you have no one else to blame for that but you. You're the only one who's in control of your thoughts. Okay, so you are where you are today because that's where you're supposed to be. Okay, and if you have right now, today, if you're on this call or you're listening to something else and you know, you're in a business or whatever, because that's where where you're supposed to be, because you have a goal, you know, but you can't stay there. You have to keep growing. You have to keep moving forward, you know, and that's what the education is all about, growing and moving forward. And the more you learn, the more you do grow, you know. I mean, I definitely see a change as far as, you know, the interaction that I'm getting with the public and people that I'm posting to, and you know, the amount of people that are in my social network now. You know, I get responses from people which you know, in the beginning you shouldn't expect them, but you know, listen, we all do. You know, you think, okay, I did my blog, no one's answering. What's the problem? What's going wrong? You know, it's not. But no one's gonna. I mean, you're not gonna buy something the first time you see a new company come out and advertise something. No, but if you see it over and over and over and over, you know, it starts to sink in. You know, very rarely does someone get in on a first run. You know, and the people that do, you know, they are serious and they are ready to make a change, and they're going to do whatever it takes because they can see the vision. and where it's going. But most people on average, they have to see something 4 or 5 times before they decide to make a decision. Luckily in our case, 4 or 5 times is not a lot because, we constantly marketing. We market daily, more than once a day. That's part of the 8 core commitments. You got to market daily. Otherwise, you're not getting yourself out there. How are people going to know that you even exist if you're just sitting on your couch, watching the latest soap opera or whatever? I don't know. Hell, what's on TV? I don't know. Cable's so overrated. Basketball season is over, so I don't know what to do right now. But I stopped watching a lot of TV a while ago. The news is depressing. There's always some killing or something going on there. And being a parent, I just can't keep watching these stories about these innocent kids getting shot or these nutcase parents that are killing the kids just because it's just. That's too much negativity. I can't. My mindset is just not in the place for that. So I watch the news because I want to see the weather. I want to know what's going to be like when I go outside. You know what I mean? But it's just, I can't, get rid of the negativity around you, whether that be, most of the time, it's the people that you're around. 9 times out of 10, it's the people that you're around. And if you do have goals and dreams and you share them with these people, they're slashing it down. They're slashing it down. Don't do that. Oh, that's a scam. Or why are you doing that? Why are you wasting your time? And that's because they don't have vision. But you can't let someone else kill your own dreams. You are the person who's responsible for your own success and no one else.
I'm recalling, I don't know when I heard it, or I think I was listening to it when I was at the gym, but the gentleman shared a story about how he decided that he was going to be successful, and when he graduated from high school, he made a commitment that he was going to read for so much time every day, and by the time he was 21, didn't make a big difference with him and his circle of friends. By the time he was 25 or 30, it started to make a little bit of a difference. By the time he was 40, because he had been reading and acquiring the information that he needed, he had already become quite the success because he put the time into it. And if you're sitting around and you're playing video games complaining about where the heck your life is at, get up off your butt, make a decision. Oh, that was a little harsh.
No, it wasn't. I would have said it much worse than that.
That you're going to do something about it and stop blaming everybody else. I'm responsible. When anyone anywhere reaches out, I want to be able to help them if they're going to be responsible for themselves too.
Exactly.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, because people always say, oh, well, I think you said you had an experience where someone said, oh, well, you talk about, you're willing to help people, so help me by getting me started. No. Yes, yeah. I'm willing to help people, but I'm willing to help the people that are willing to help themselves first.
Yeah.
Okay, because it has to start with you. You have to be the one to create your own change within you. I can't do that. And that's one of the biggest mistakes people make, because they want their business to grow, so they start buying people's way in. No, because that person that you're buying in, they have nothing to lose. Nothing whatsoever. So if they don't do anything with it, no skin off of their back, because they didn't cost them anything. So, the value is lessened, in my opinion, if you buy someone, especially into this business, okay, because you need to want it enough to do whatever you have to do, whether it be, selling stuff on eBay or getting an extra job, whatever it takes. If you are really serious about reaching your goals, then you won't let anything stand in your way. Okay, because if you're not sacrificing something, then you're really not making an effort. There's always sacrifices along the way. And sacrifices are different to different people. You know what I mean? Because like Mike Hobbs, when he went to his first event, he sold one of his cars to get there. Because that's how much he knew he needed to be at that event he was going to. And now, I'm pretty sure he may be one of the people to receive his $1 million ring on stage in Charlotte. You know, and if he doesn't get it in Charlotte, it won't be long after that. You know, because he was willing to make the sacrifice. And that's what you have to do. You have to make sacrifices along the way. Otherwise, you're not stepping out of your comfort zone.
No.
You know, it was sacrifice for me to pick up my phone and make that first video. That's a sacrifice. You know, no matter how big or how small it is a sacrifice. You know, people are I heard the other night them say somebody is actually hitchhiking across the country to get to the event because he understands right, because he understands that his current situation is never going to change unless he changes. So if it takes him a whole week, you know, I think he was coming from the West Coast or something, but however long it takes him to get there, he'll get there. And I can guarantee you with our community, once he makes it to that event, he'll definitely have somewhere to sleep. Without a doubt, someone will open up their door and welcome him into their room because he made that effort. You know, so it's about helping people who are willing to help themselves first, okay? And also people that are going to put the ego to the side. You know, because so many people, oh, I know that already. I know that already. I know that already. Well, guess what? You don't know that already. Okay? And you are never so far beyond learning. Every day is a new opportunity to learn something new. You know, and if you're going to...
I would be where they were.
Exactly. You know, and when you get around the amount of people that you have opportunity to be around when you get to these events, and you know, you can have a 5-minute conversation with someone and it could change your life. 5-minute conversation. You never know who you're going to encounter when you surround yourself with the right people. You know, I mean, I got 2 phones, a camera, because I'm prepared for videos and pictures. You know, I got my notepad already in. I haven't
even started packing.
I know. Well, listen, that's all right. I know we got our workbook because we're VIP. You know, and that workbook is for the whole weekend. You know, so I'm excited even to see what's in there. And like you were talking about, like I can't wait also because I want to know. We keep hearing. What's coming in Charlotte is going to change everything. What's coming in Charlotte is going to change everything. I want to know too. But, you know, we're not part of the Leadership Council yet, but we will be. Okay? We will be. And one day we'll be in those behind closed doors meetings to know before everyone else knows. You know, our day is coming for sure. But, you know, we both made a decision. We both have vision like so many others. And we will be there. I'll be soaking up whatever nuggets I can get from each and every person. You know, I mean, I've even met people just from, you know, our members only hangout. You know, and I think that's how I actually met a lot of people, because I think Lisa I met in one of the Prosperity Team hangouts, just in the scroll, making comments and talking back and forth. You know, you meet people and it just becomes relationships that you have lifelong going forward. You know, I mean, and it's like I even, for a prior MLM that I was doing at one time, I met some people, and I still have some of them, you know, like in my Facebook friends list and stuff like that. And one of them sent me an invite to like what her page. You know, she happens to be about to run for Senate. You know, and I was like, sure, you know, that's no problem. I go in there, and I even told her, you know, give me all the info. And actually, I found out she doesn't live that far from me, so I'm going to set up with her after I get back from Charlotte to sit down with her where I can get my own little interview, you know, and have put together my own content for my blog, you know. But I told her before, you know, girl, you need to have a blog. Now that I know she's running for Senate, okay, you know I'm about to be on that, right? So you need to have a blog. Without a doubt. You know, and so many people misunderstand the benefits, you know, and how much a blog can really get you out there. And it's not just any regular blog. I mean, it's a viral blogging system. So it's not like having, you know, what's that thing called, Blogspot or whatever that those blog names are. You know, those don't get you ranked on the first page of Google. You know, a viral blogging system like ours gets you ranked on the first page of Google. You know, and I have snapshots of some of my posts, you know, on the first page of Google. So there's no question that it works, but you have to educate yourself. You have to get the other products so that you know the right way that you should be marketing. Because like you said, if you're marketing to everybody, you're really marketing to nobody. So you got to know who you're targeting. I was doing some keyword search the other day, and I just put in a keyword, and pow, there I was on the first page of Google. I didn't even know. Because I wasn't, it turned out that particular post that I wrote, there was a lot of different keywords in there that were connected. So it was showing up on the first page of Google on the different keyword searches. And that's what a viral blogging network system does for you. It puts you up there. But people just misunderstand. And I think a lot of people just don't get it. Like, why do I need a blog? Why do I need a blog? Well, because if you have a beauty salon, and you're located, on Springfield Boulevard or whatever, take some pictures of your customer's hair, put it up on your blog, let people know this is where you can come and get your hair done too. And when somebody goes searching for hair salon in Queens and you pop up on the first page, well, there you go. When people search Google, it's very rare that they go past the first page. I generally don't. Okay, I don't know what other people do. Sometimes I'll check page 2 if I'm not really seeing what I'm looking for on page 1, because sometimes I'm just looking for something in particular. And if I don't see it on page 1, I'll go to page 2, and even if I'm on page 2, I may only go like halfway down. I don't even look at the whole page. But most people will click on links that are on the first page. So you want to be using a system that's going to put you on the first page. It's about exposure. You can't get leads and bring people in if you're not being exposed. If no one knows that you're there, if you're showing up on page 10 instead of showing up on page 1, then you're pretty much non-existent. Pretty much non-existent. So I just think a lot of people also just misunderstand the uses and the benefits that they can get out of using a blog like ours.
Agreed.
Yeah. So this has been great, woman. It's what do we have? Wow, it's 11:15. Okay, we have to let people go. It's late. It is for a lot of people a work night. And
we're on our way to Charlotte this week, so we will have all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, lots of marketing material is about to be together, and they are going to be seeing us all over the place. We are about to be out there, and I'm so looking forward to, the news stories. I love seeing the new people succeed, because you get tired of when you're seeing the same people constantly, you kind of start losing the belief. But when you're seeing new people every single time that you get to these events, I mean, naturally you're going to see the leaders too, but they're speakers introducing the new people that are making money. You know what I mean? So it motivates you, and it gives you even more inspiration when you see someone new, another new person, another new person, another new person, another new person, And I mean, that's one of the things that I love too, and I think that's really great. So I think we should just say good night. You want to make any closing thoughts?
No, I'm just psyched. I want to get to Charlotte. I just want to thank everybody for joining us and hanging out with us tonight. And get back with the person who invited you here.
Yes, definitely. Me too. Yeah, so excited, so excited. Can't wait for Charlotte. I too am so excited. And like she said, was one of us invited you here, whether it be through an email, a Twitter post, a Google Plus post, something you saw. There's a reason why you're here. So just get back to either one of us if you are, you want to get started with our business and find out more about what it is that we are doing, because it's spreading. And I'm going to tell you, I don't even know what's coming in Charlotte. But I think once it's released, because of the fact with the change in the commission structure, it really is going to bring a lot of the old school MLM people into Empower Network, because those are a lot of the people that they were kind of frowning on us because of the way that the commission was structured, the comp plan was structured, and now that that's being changed where it'll benefit them, when you can have a home party, and instead of making, $100 a night, you can make $5,000 from one night. That it changes things. So definitely get back to whichever one of us invited you.
They're also incorporating, that is one thing that they did share in calls, they're also incorporating the techniques that your traditional MLM and marketers use with those who like being on the phone. Whatever product's coming out is going to be suitable.
Yes, definitely.
We will make another post, have another hangout, invite you back again, and
hey, listen, maybe we'll do a hangout from Charlotte. That'll be cool.
We're sharing a room. We can do that.
That'll be cool. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. We hope you have a great night, and we will definitely see you soon. Have a great night.